All right, let's do this. It feels like a bloody swamp. The hair. Oh my God, I look like an electrocuted pigeon. What is this? Hello, everybody. Welcome back. First episode for 2024. I know it's been a red hot second. This is Marylin from Rossano's Casa, and today we are going to be making my Herby chicken and feta meatballs. This recipe. Now, let me tell you, I usually don't make or crave a lot of my recipes like on repertoire because I don't know, but these stole my heart. I made these at, I think my last supper club, maybe my Christmas supper club last year. And again, I had to dish them up at the private supper club that I hosted at a client's house at the end of last year as well. When I tell you everyone has loved these, they've loved them. Okay, it is beautiful. There is chicken mince in here. There is a bunch of fresh herbs, and this recipe came to me because my parents garden and that's their hobby. They love it, and they had gifted me so much fresh herbs, and I was like, right, I've got to use these all up. What am I going to make? And I thought, I want these to be the feature of a dish, and that's what we're going to do. So I don't have as much herbs or variety that I did last year, but that's the beauty about this because you could chop and change and use up what you have and it will still taste delicious, and they are not dry at all. So let's flip the camera around. Let's go through the ingredients and just start making them, because when I tell you they're quick, easy, and delicious, I'm not even joking. Anyway, let's go through it. First things first, we have 1 kilo of chicken mince. I've just bought store-bought chicken mince. We have some parmesan, grated parmesan, salt, pepper, breadcrumbs, Dijon mustard, some feta, which I'm going to crumble, onion and garlic powder. You can use fresh, but I do find that this garlic powder, it's a little bit more subtle and just won't be as sharp or burn when I'm going to grill the meatballs up. Lemon, I've just got a lime today because I used up all the lemon in my gin and tonics, full disclosure, but the zest of a whole lemon. We have some spring onions. I'm using the green part, which I finally diced. I keep these diced up in a container in the fridge because when I fry or scramble eggs in the morning, I like to put a bunch of these into it as well. So that's a little take-home note, to just have some spring onions ready to go in the fridge for your eggs or whatever, salads, and a bunch of fresh herbs. I've got thyme, parsley. I added sage. So hang on. Okay, I've got parsley, oregano, thyme in here. I've added a little bit of dried dill, but fresh is preferred if you have it or it's in season. And when I hosted the supper club, I also added sage. But again, use what you have. You could add tarragon, marjoram, like anything, any herbs that you like, basil, maybe not coriander. Coriander would definitely change the taste. But, you know, all the other kind of, I would leave basil and mint out, to be honest, and an egg. So we're basically going to just plonk all these ingredients in here, and then I'm going to use an ice cream scooper to just form little balls, pop them in the fridge before we grill them up. So let's flip the camera around, all right, and just make it together. All right, into the bowl with the chicken mince. There is no like right or wrong way of doing this. We are literally just going to add in all the ingredients. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I'm a big believer that Dijon mustard transforms meatballs all the time, even meatloaf. Then I'm going to get just another spoon. So we're going to add in a tablespoon of garlic powder and a tablespoon of onion powder. And I'm just eyeballing this because I've made it that many times that I don't really need measuring spoons. So onion, garlic powder. I wouldn't use the granulated stuff, but definitely the powder is fine. Some breadcrumbs. You could use plain flour, but I'm going to use breadcrumbs. 1 whole egg to bind. Okay, we're going to add fresh herbs. So I just had fresh thyme and oregano. I'm adding a little bit of dried dill, which I generally would say avoid the dried herbs, but I love dill in these and I couldn't find any in the shops at all. So I'm just adding a little bit because the flavour in dried herbs is always a little bit stronger and it's never really the same. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of spring onions, just the green parts, not the white part. And a little bit more. So literally when you bring this together, it'll be pretty much like herbs with a dash of mince. That's how much herbs is in this dish. I'm going to crumble 100 grams of Greek feta. I always take it out of the fridge a little bit earlier, just because then it will crumble a lot better. It won't be as hard and firm and stiff. So we're just going to crumble that all in. I'm going to wash my hands after this. Should have done this part last. I'm going to zest in a whole lemon. You could add preserved lemons in this if you are like me, that has them on standby in the fridge. But otherwise, the zest of a lemon. So let me come back, right? I feel like I need to wash my hands. We'll go in with the lemon zest. Just ignore that I'm using a lime. Just ignore. Anyway, lime is fine as well. Let's be honest. Gives off a little bit of a different taste, but nonetheless, always delicious. Now I'm going to add in a quarter of a cup, of Parmesan, grated Parmesan. So I usually get my grated Parmesan just from the deli, and I keep that container in the freezer on standby to always add. Otherwise, you could just buy a block, grate it in yourself. Definitely adds a beautiful flavour. You could add pecorino if you don't have Parmesan. That's totally fine. Just bear in mind that it's a little bit stronger in taste, so I would probably lessen the quantity if I was using pecorino, and it has a bit more of a sharpness and saltiness to it as well. So we'll do that last. Add in some salt, not too much salt, because we have got a lot of feta in there. So what I would do is I would add a bit. You can always just grill just a little piece. So I'll mix this all up. You can grill a little piece and just taste it, see if it's seasoned well, and then I would then make sure that it tastes right. If it doesn't, adjust it. You could repeat it again. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of salt, and you know that it needs a little bit of salt, and then you would form them into little meatballs, because once they're kind of formed, that's it. Ain't no turning back, and no one likes a bland dish. So over the weekend, we went to a restaurant in Sydney, which was, it's a nice restaurant. They change their menu quite a bit, and it was nice, but there were some dishes and I was like, oh my gosh, it just needs salt. Does no one taste this before it goes out? I'm not a heavy salt eater either, but I was like kind of shocked. I'm going to get a disposable glove because, we're so organized today. I'm going to mush it up, and then what I will do is I will flip the camera around, and we will, actually, you know what? I'm going to chill this for a little bit in the fridge. I'm going to chill it so that the mince comes together a little bit, the breadcrumbs settle, and that way when I form the meatballs, they won't be falling apart. Because today it's super hot and I've got the AC on, but I just feel like with chicken mince, it's always sloppy. So I'm just going to chill it for a little bit. Then we're going to form the meatballs, and we're going to chill them again in the fridge before we grill them up a little bit so they don't fall apart when we grill them on the stove. All right. Okay, we'll be back very soon. Okay, we have chilled the chicken mince mixture for about an hour, 2 hours. You could even chill this overnight. So that is what it looks like. And I just have a lined baking tray. This one comes with a lid, courtesy of Amazon. And I'm going to just use an ice cream scooper. You could use your hands, but I just feel like this makes them much more uniform, easy to scoop out and into the baking tray as such. So I'm going to do that for all of the mince. I'm going to put the lid on and let it chill for a little bit longer because I don't need to cook them straight away. And then we are just going to grill them up on a medium-high heat for about 6 to 8 minutes, rotating them. Like I said, you could test cooking a little, like just a little portion before we actually scoop it out, but I'm pretty confident these are well seasoned. But if you just wanted to double check it, you could do that. Look how beautiful and uniform that looks. Anyway, all right, I'm going to finish doing that, pop them in the fridge and come back to grill them up with you guys. I've got the pan on a medium-high heat, added some olive oil. So I'm going to cook these for about 6 to 8 minutes. I'm going to rotate them. I actually put the lid of the pan on just for a little bit to make sure that the meatballs completely cook through. And just remember, do not overcrowd the pan because you don't want these bad boys stewing. I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Golden meatballs. So you just want to cook them evenly and just keep tossing them so that they completely cook through. I actually put the lid on, so I cranked the heat up to like pretty much high heat, medium high, and I cooked it with the lid on a little bit just so that the steam can cook them through. I did bake these once just to test it out and they were so dry. So I definitely recommend pan grilling them. Let's cut one through and taste test them together. Let's taste test. Let's cut one straight in the center. Look at that. Absolutely delicious. Now, they look a little bit less herby. That's because I didn't have as much herbs as the recipe calls for today. But I promise you, you follow the recipe, add the right quantities. You can chop and change the types of herbs that you like, that you prefer. You will not be disappointed. I would love to know if you make these and what you think. I will link up the recipe below to my website. Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this recipe. I promise you, you will love these meatballs and not turn back. And on my website, there is a creamy herb and garlic orzo recipe. That's the two that I served up together at supper club. So this with the creamy orzo recipe, and on another occasion, the private supper club was a green baked risotto. So if you're wondering what can I dish this up with, go over to my website and make those recipes along with it. Until next week. So I feel like one of those weirdos that says that about their food all the time. Anyway, till next week. Bye.